or they call it the delegate. Fifth is you, inshallah, if you become a certified receiver. Sixth is the fire watch. The last one is the timer. You understand? Is it clear?
Yes.
So how many people are they? Okay, 7, huh? So we will only discuss these 7 people. Okay, no one else. So these are the information only you need on the work permit system. Okay, so I will give them their responsibility one by one. Is it clear? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. So let's discuss. Let's go now to first information. Restricted area. Restricted area is designated. What is designated? Assigned by the what? Manager. Okay? Remember the first person. Designated the restricted area is assigned by the manager. Okay? Including grassroots project. Okay? These are all example of restricted area. Okay? I want you to understand this. Okay? Okay. I'll give you time to read it. I'm not here to read, I'm here to explain. Okay? Got it? Let me see your facial expression. So if I know if I can see it or not, you see it. So these are all example of restricted area. And remember, who will designate it or assign it? It's assigned by the manager. Correct?
Yeah.
Correct? Okay, good. So why is this restricted area? Okay, simple. The manager will choose, will designate or assign a restricted area if he knows the area has lots of what? Hazards. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? Telling you from the beginning, we will discuss the word hazard precaution, hazard precaution, hazard precaution, hazard precaution, hazard precaution. How many times I said that? So it means important. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. But what is the cause of the accident? Hazard. So how you prevent the accident? Precaution. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, good. So why this is a restricted area? Why? Yun. In Hindi. Less in Arabic. In Tagalog, bakit?
Lots of
Why
hazard.
this is a restricted area? Because why? This area has lots of hazard that we need to identify and control before starting any activity here. Is that correct? Am I correct? Yes or no? Do you agree? Okay, good. So what do you need here before you work? Simple. Receiver must request work permit before they start working inside restricted area. Understand me? So please put it in your brain. This is the first condition. When should the receiver request work permit? Or simple, when do we need work permit? First thing, you need work permit before you start any activity inside a restricted area. Do I make myself clear? Do I make myself clear? Okay, good. Okay? And why it is a restricted area? Because that area has lots of hazard. So why do we need work permit there? To prevent incident and accident. Because according to the GI, the purpose of work permit is to prevent incident and accident. It's written here. See? See? You remember?
Yes.
You remember this? See? I put them together. I putting them together. inside the restricted area, there are lots of hazard. So, before you start there, you have to identify the hazard. That's why you need what? Work permit. Is it clear? Good. So that's the first condition, When do we need work permit? Receiver needs request work permit before starting any activity inside the restricted area. Give me a thumbs up if it is clear. Okay, good. Second condition, when do we need work permit? Before you start any what? Restricted activity. So this, who is responsible to assign or designate a restricted activity? Restricted activity is identified and designated by the manager. Okay? What is restricted activity? This is an activity that work permit is always needed, no matter your location is, as long as you're in Aramco facility. Okay? Simple. These are all examples of restricted activity. Remember, So, take a picture, understand it. Okay, ready? Simple. Next. Why this is a restricted activity? Again, simple. Because these lots of activities has lots of what? Hazard again. You agree? Okay. So what do we need here? You need a permit.
Perfect.
Clear? So, for example, this one. Simple. In an oil and gas plant, what is the major hazard? Put it in your brain. This one. In an oil and gas plant, the major hazard is what? Toxic and flammable material. Do you agree? Okay, good. In a Aramco facility like Rastanura, refinery, Juwaima, any oil and gas plant, the major hazard, teacher, what is major hazard? The highest hazard is flammable and toxic material. Okay? Now, in this Rastanura ITC, where I work, I don't have flammable and so this is not a restricted area. Okay? This is not a restricted area, this ITC. But, if I start welding in my classroom, doing welding activity in my classroom, I need a permit. Why? Because this welding activity is considered a hot work. So it's a hot work activity. Hot work activity is considered as a restricted activity. Do you understand me? Is it clear? Okay. So simple, The second condition, when do we need work permit? Before you start any restricted activity. Do you understand me? Is it clear? Why? Because the restricted activity, like the example you see here, have lots of hazard to identify and control. Okay. Any question, gentlemen? Is it clear? Okay, good. So, I will type it down. Okay, what are the things you have to remember? This one. Okay. So, let's do some wrap up for this in wrap up. Okay. So, ready? Sorry. Do we need work permit? Work permit is required first, okay? Before starting starting work inside restricted, sorry. And the second one, before parting any restricted activity. This is activity. Any question? Any question? Is it clear? Remember, okay, the two major hazards. The following: flammable material or substance and toxic. Any question, gentlemen? Is it clear? Is it clear? Now, let's go now here. This is good to know one thing. Low risk activity, this is good to know. Low risk activity, simple the manager will identify it. Nobody will tell me again, ask me question, because I know you have lots of reviewer. And one of your reviewer saying issuer is the identify the low risk. No. The issuer will not identify it is a low risk. This is already identified by the manager. Okay? So what is a low risk activity? Low risk work. Okay? The chances of getting accident is very low, but it doesn't mean you don't need to identify hazard. You still have to identify hazard and precaution, but no need for permit. But you have to follow the minimum safety rules. Okay? But wait, gentlemen, let me discuss this. Okay? Let me discuss. I told you that each facility, Rastanura Refinery, Juaima facility, Swasit, they have their own local procedure. But wait, some area, like I remember Rastanura, they don't have AWAD, Rastanura Refinery, they don't have low risk. All activity inside the refinery or any restricted area, they have to what? Have a permit. You understand me? Is it clear? Because the manager said we don't have a low risk. Why? Because you are working inside the refinery, which is a restricted area. We need to control that activity always. Okay? You understand me? Is it clear? So remember, nothing is special here. What you have to remember here. So these are all examples of low risk activity. Okay? This is identified by the manager. The manager will identify this. He will designate it. So this is if you have a low risk activity, if the manager have a low risk activity, you don't need permit. But you have to follow the minimum safety precaution or safety rules. Do I make myself clear? Is it clear, gentlemen? Yes or no? So teacher, for example, if area, oil and gas plant, they have a low risk activity, it's written where, teacher? It's written in their SMS. Okay? What does it mean, teacher? If I go there, for example, I have a low risk activity, we have a low risk written by the manager. We said, okay, brush painting, it's just a low risk activity. But it doesn't mean you kaliwali. Okay? You don't follow the precaution. No. When you enter that area, you should have wearing proper PPE. You know where to go in case of emergency. Do you understand me? Is it clear? But you don't need to have a permit. But some area, most of the area in Aramco, they don't have low risk activity. They don't have. Why? They want to make sure that all activity inside the restricted area are controlled. Do I make myself clear? Do I make myself clear? Okay. So, what I want you to remember here only, I want you to remember that, Sesma, when do we need work permit? Simple, this one. We need work permit before starting work inside the restricted area and before starting any restricted activity. And who will request it? The receiver will request it. The issuer will be the one to issue it. Do I make myself clear, gentlemen? Okay, good. Okay. Let's go now to so finish with the manager. So things to remember with the manager, simple. The manager will only designate the following. Designate the restricted area, designate the restricted activity, and designate the low risk activity. So 3, restricted area, restricted activity, low risk activity are all designated by the manager. Do you understand me? Is it clear? Is it clear? Good. Next. Let's go now to the second person. Teacher, who is your second person? The second person we have is the division head. This guy. The division head, simple. It's not here, but I want you to understand it. The division head, I want you to remember, the person who will certify that the issuer and the receiver is the division head. That's it. Is it clear? Is it clear? The person who will sign your permit, your certificate, the certificate of the issuer and the certificate of the receiver will be signed by the division head. So who will certify you? The division head. Do I make myself clear? Okay, good. So let's go now to what? Manager. Who's the third guy? This guy, work permit issuer. The work permit issuer must be certified by the division head. Okay? Simple. He supervised the work area, he identified the hazard and precaution. Okay, gentlemen, this is the main idea of the issuer. The issuer is the boss. You understand me? Okay? Certified issuer is the boss. What do you mean, teacher? Boss, literally boss? Why? He will be the one to issue permit to you. Simple. Why he is the issuer? Because he is certified to do that and he knows the area better than you because he owns the system. He is the owner of the system. Okay? It's like you are entering a house of a different person. So you don't own that house. So the person in charge of that area is the owner of the house. So in our case, if you are going to work inside the restricted area, the person who will allow you to enter the restricted area to perform your work is the certified issuer. So you have to what? Follow the boss. Do you understand me? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. So remember this. These are the responsibility of the issuer as the boss. He will be the main responsible, from the word main, number one, Number one responsible to identify the hazard and do gas testing. He is the responsible to decide what permit to be used. He is responsible to check all your certificate and inspection stickers. And he is responsible to what? Identify the hazard and precaution properly. Do I make myself clear? Simple. He is the boss.
Dapat mahita.
Di ba gadong ka? Magadong ka.
Kung mahita ko.
Sorry. Kaliwala this one, ha? Kaliwala this one. Third.
Shoot. Speak pa.
You know that one, ha? Second.
Dala sa tayo. Dala sa tayo.
That's it. Any question? Simple. He's the boss, huh? He's the boss. Is it clear? Is it clear? Good. Okay. Let's go now to the second person. That fourth person. Who is that fourth person? Let me see. The fourth person will be the designated representative. Okay. So designated representative is designated by the management, which is the division head. Perform the duty of the associated with issuing work permit, but cannot issue work permit. Simple. I want you to remember this formation.
Yun yung nasa exam sigurado.
Hmm.
Yan.
Ah.
Nasa exam.
Plastic na yung kapra. Balik ka ng kapra. Saan plastic? Doon sa dito yun ako yun.
You understand? Inshallah, my camera is working now because I have to restart this again. No, it's not. Okay, later. Here, see, shoot. I will show you something.
No.
Okay. Much better this one. See, shoot, gentlemen. See, this is the work permit form. Okay? So during the joint site inspection, you have to do the gas testing and the hazard analysis checklist. This one. Okay? This can be done if the issuer, basically the issuer and the receiver will do joint site inspection. Usually, must be, usually. But if the issuer is not available, okay, if the issuer is not available, okay, that he can send what we call the designated representative, okay, to do the joint site inspection. So he can do the gas testing, so he must be a certified gas tester. Okay, the designated representative is a certified gas tester. He can do the hazard analysis checklist. Okay, so that's why here, if you can see, who can sign the hazard analysis checklist? See, issuer or designated representative and receiver. So teacher, is the receiver can sign the permit? Yes, he can sign the permit. He can sign on the permit. Where? On the gas testing and the hazard analysis checklist. But he cannot issue here. He cannot sign here. Only the issuer or the receiver is allowed to write here, to sign here. Do I make myself clear?
Yes.
Is it clear? So remember this one, huh? If the issuer is not available, he can send somebody, identify the management to do joint site inspection. Okay, which is what we call designated representative. So designated representative can do the GSI, he can do the gas testing also. He can complete the hazard analysis checklist, this one. He can complete this one, okay, this one. Okay, but he cannot what? Issue permit. Do I make myself clear?
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Good. So let's go now to your main responsibility. Receiver responsibility. Simple. Simple. You guys. I will cut the story short. You don't own the system. The issuer is the boss, correct? Who's the boss?
Sure.
Issuer. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. So simple. You're not the boss. So what should you do? Only you should follow. Okay? You agree? Because you are going to enter his house. So whatever rules in his house, you are the visitor, you follow. Okay? So here's the thing. Receiver responsibility, huh? Okay, remember, you are also certified, huh? You must be certified, huh? So you have a valid permit. Valid
Certificate.
certificate. Simple. Gentlemen, highlight this, memorize this, not memorize only, understand this. Before you just sign any documents, please understand this. You have to first what? Read. Read it carefully. After you read the permit, you must what? Understand. Okay? After you understand, you must what? Agree. After you agree, make sure you can what? Follow. And what should you read? What should you understand? What should you agree on? What should you follow? The work permit conditions. Is on the scope of work. Do you understand this? Do you understand this? Gentlemen, remember, work permit is a contract. It's a contract between you and the issuer. So there are conditions. Oh, what are the conditions? The precaution. Oh, Mr. De Los Reyes. Yes, sir. Mr. De Los Reyes, I will issue you this permit, but I want you to have a barricade and warning sign here. I want all your workers wearing their proper PPE. Okay? Do you understand that? Is it clear? Is it clear? That will be your precaution. That will be your condition. And who will give that condition? The issuer, the boss. All you have to do is read it, understand, agree, and follow the work permit condition based on the scope of work. Do I make myself clear, gentlemen?
Yes.
Is it clear? Good. Next. Gentlemen, the receiver responsibility must be always at the work site. A valid work permit in his possession. Simple. When I issue you a permit, for example, I am the issuer. If I issue you a permit, the whole time you are doing the job, your work crew is doing the job, you must be always there. You are not allowed to leave at the work site. You are not allowed to leave the work site. If you want to leave, you should stop the work until you come back. Do I make myself clear, gentlemen? Okay. Do I make myself clear?
Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Good. Next, this is your main responsibility. And I want you to do this not just to pass the online test. In case, inshallah, you become a real receiver, a certified receiver. I want you to do this third responsibility. Okay? Any problem at the work site. Highlight with this. I will highlight that. Receiver must what? Stop work and report. If you don't know, discuss, inform, same, ask the issuer. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? No kulumalum, gentlemen, ha? I don't like kulumalum, ha? Malum, after explosion. Malum, after one of your worker dead. Ha? Okay? Any problem at the work site, what should the receiver do? He must stop the work and report to the issuer. Do I make myself clear?
Yes.
Any question? Is it clear? Okay, let's review from the top. Okay, the first module is finished. Okay, remember this. Why we need work permit? To prevent incident and accident. How you will prevent accident and incident? By identifying all the hazard and precaution. Okay? When do we need work permit? Before starting any work inside the restricted area and inside any restricted activity. Who will identify it? It's the manager. The manager will designate the restricted area, restricted activity. Remember, you are certified. The issuer and receiver must be certified by the division head. Okay? Issuer is the boss. He will be the responsible for everything, the main responsibility to lead the joint site inspection and do gas testing. The issuer will identify what is the correct permit to be used. The issuer will do leading the joint site inspection and do gas testing. The issuer will check all, verify all your certificates. Is it clear? Then the receiver, okay, the designated representative, simple. He can do the joint site inspection. He can do the hazard analysis checklist like this, but he cannot issue work permit. Receiver, these are your three major responsibilities. Read, understand, agree, and follow. Must be always at the work site and with a valid work permit in his condition. And any problem at the work site, stop work and report to the issuer. Any question, gentlemen? Is it clear? So, sure? Clear, ha? No question, ha? Okay? So I'll give you your 25 minutes break. Yala, 25 minutes. Come back after 25 minutes.
Ah, makaingit ang